Well, Lisa Briggs is at the Bruce Company greenhouses today to take your plant questions.
We have 2 lines open. If you have a question for Lisa, 608-270-9933. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're great.
Doing all right.
Good to see you. And the phones are jammed as always, so let's get right to
it. We're going to start with Julie in Middleton. Hi, Julie.
Hey, hi, Lisa. Listen, I had a couple of serviceberry bushes put in 2 years ago. One doing good. One has been stressed kind of the whole time. I babied it. It is still stressed, and I don't know what else I can do for it. Can you help me out?
Well, depending on the stress, were they big or like smaller ones in containers when you planted them? Or were they larger specimens?
They were larger, and I watered them appropriately. I've continued. I know it's been stressful the last 2 years. I watered them appropriately and not too much.
Okay. Well, you might want to, since they've been in for 2 years, you might want to do some fertilizer, something that is more where the first number, the nitrogen number, is lower than the other numbers, so that you get a little bit of extra root development. Continue to water, good soak once a week until the ground freezes. If you haven't mulched them, or if the mulch layer is getting a little thin, you might want to apply a little extra mulch. That will help keep the moisture in. But when we have heat like this and plants aren't fully established, they just get stressed out by the heat. Leaves turn yellow and drop from the center of the plant. It shouldn't be a long-term problem, but I would definitely do what you can to get it established.
All right.
A little fertilizer and continue the watering.
Julie, I appreciate the phone call. Let's go to Danny in Madison. He might have some similar issues here. Danny, go ahead. You're on with Lisa.
Yes, I have a flowering crab tree in my yard. It's probably 30 years old. The leaves have fallen off pretty early. It did bloom this year as far as the pink flowers and everything, and it did the same thing last year. But it seems to be, I don't know, maybe it's dying. The branches are kind of brittle.
It sounds like you might have a little bit of a fungal problem called apple scab. And so the leaves will get black spots on them and then turn yellow or kind of an orangey yellow and fall off. Older crabapple varieties are super susceptible to it, so there are a couple things you can do. First of all, make sure that this fall that you rake up all of those affected leaves out of there and get them out of your yard. Dispose of them, don't compost them. And then this winter, you might want to try to thin out the canopy a little bit. Take out those branches that are dead and anything that's crossing or rubbing against one another, and then just thin it out a little bit. Apple scab and most fungal diseases are exacerbated by heat, wet, and slow air movement. So if you can get some of the branches out of there and increase the airflow, you might have a little better luck. You can also do a preemptive treatment for fungal diseases next spring after the flowers are done is when you want to apply the fungicide.
Yeah, those crab trees are pretty hardy. They can handle a lot. Let's go to Judy.
Yeah.
Judy is in Madison. Judy, you're on with Lisa. Go ahead.
Hello, Lisa. I have 2 endless summer hydrangeas, which are established about 4 years old. They are about 4 inches in diameter, 4 inches tall. They are lush and green, but they are flowering very, very little. Can you tell me what's wrong?
Sure. First of all, endless summer hydrangeas, even though they're a type of hydrangea that we like to see in a shadier location, morning sun, they're going to need a good solid 3 or 4 hours of sun to produce flowers, buds. The endless summer, which was the first one in this series of hydrangeas that will bloom on old and new wood, are slower to flower than some of the newer varieties. So what I would do this fall is, after the leaves fall off, put a little mulch on the crowns of the plants, maybe 10 or 12 inches deep. And then that will protect some of the flower buds that have been established on the old wood, and then you'll get better flowering next year.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time already. The time goes by so fast.
It does. A lot of questions.
Hopefully, long questions today.
Yeah.
Hopefully the rain will help a lot of those questions get answered today.
Yes.
It
I'm
has
hoping.
been dry. It has been dry.
Thanks for your calls, everybody. And Lisa, great to see you. We'll do this again very soon.
Yep.
Okay.